Hey, welcome back. I'm glad to be back after taking like a couple of months off of making videos, but I'm here cleaning my house as usual, and winters are a bit rough for me. I tend to get lethargic. I'm always cold. There's been this cold snap for the last, I want to say at least 2 weeks that is just been below freezing, which is a bit unusual for New York City. It usually stays in the mid 30s to like high 40s in the winters, but it's been a very consistent snow and, well, one big snowstorm. Sub-zero temperatures, and when I say zero, I mean the freezing zero, so whatever that means to you, the snow is not even melting. Since there hasn't been any warm days, I had to put plastic over the windows to keep the drafts out because this is very old building. You may have heard me talk about it. There are even spots where I can see straight into the outside, like not even through cracks around the windows, but just through the walls themselves. So I've stuffed small towels or whatever, try to insulate as much as I can. So this video, as you could probably tell, it looks like it's from the summer, which it was. So I have some saved up footage. I don't think I've used this one before. And today I'll get into this case of a missing boy that I've been really interested in and following it for the last few weeks. I will get into some heavier topics about this kid who went missing in my area. Hopefully nothing too serious, but the media is trying to spin it in a way where they are suggesting that what happened to him, that he tried to unalive himself, but the as far as I can tell as of now, the like February 9th, his family is very much still looking for him and they have not gotten any conclusive information. And once they kind of went out there and were seeking help from like in the media and just trying to spread the word, like the narrative all of a sudden in the news changed drastically from them like looking for his kid, for their child, and then to the media just kind of giving us this kind of final outcome, to a suggestion. So I'll be getting into that a little more in detail because this is kind of, for some reason, I was very suspicious of just the turn of events, how it started being like written about. I'm not gonna be putting up like there were missing posters and stuff. I'm not gonna put up any posters just because it's whatever, whenever this video comes out the situation may change or whatever, and I don't want to just have this permanent photo of a kid on this on my YouTube. But you can look him up. His name is Thomas Medlin. A bunch of articles have been written about him, so I'm just trying to raise some awareness about him. There was a really strange sort of post. Like, the only reason I saw anything about him was somebody in my local group in Queens was putting up posters of him and saying, "This is my cousin and he's missing." So I read a little bit about it. And this person kept posting more missing posters. And then they started like posting the more recent news stories. And then this person said, case closed, like, we found out what it was. It's what we feared. Out of respect to the family, please remove any information, any posters you've shared of him so that we can focus on the family and continue grieving. And I thought this was really strange because last I saw the news, there wasn't anything conclusive. And last I saw was like the family being sort of outraged at how the media has started to portray the case. So this this lady who was posting like, oh, we know what happened and it's like what we feared, it's the worst. I looked at her history and she had written the same things about other people. Like she had the like identical posts like, oh, we know what happened now. It's what we feared the most. Please remove any information, but it would have like a different name. Instead of Thomas, it had like Mackenzie. So I was like, is she just posting these missing kids posters to get attention? Because obviously when you do that and you say like I'm the family member, then you're going to get like an outpouring of community support, hopes and prayers, and I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I hope your family has the support, whatever. So the I have a feeling, I'm not sure, like maybe there's something I don't know, but it seems like at least twice she posted on behalf of missing people and then got a bunch of replies, and then 2 days later closed it down, was like, this person is no longer alive, and would get like a whole bunch of sympathy. And I don't know, I thought it was sketchy. So this is why I started to do a deep dive into the case, because I was curious about why all of a sudden like the narrative shift that this child is no longer with us. So let me go into the backstory. I did make my own post about him, just saying how the investigation is still very much ongoing, and since this is in my immediate area, obviously it's good to have people like keep an eye, and if they see this child, maybe, they could report. So on the morning of January 9th, 2026, Thomas Medlin, that's Medlin, who's 15 years old. He's a student of the Stony Brook Preparatory School on Long Island. So this is not New York City. This is like a couple of hours away. So the school that he attended was pretty rigorous private school with a campus, which means that kids were also living there. I don't think he was living there. I think he was living with his parents. So on that morning, he got ready for school and asked his parents to pick him up at 9 p.m., saying that he was going to hang out on campus there after school. And he said like the friend that he was going to be hanging out with, and as far as I could tell, this was unusual for him to do, but I guess the family didn't think anything of it. So his father was supposed to pick him up at 9 p.m. at the school, and when his father showed up, his son was not there. He called the friend that was supposed to be with him. The friend said he didn't see him, like he saw him at school, but they didn't hang out. As far as I could tell, there was a search of the campus conducted, and somehow it was found out, I don't know if it was found out that night or a few days later, that their son had taken an LIR train to New York City at it looks like he got on the train at 3:45, so he was able to walk from the school, which is a very close distance, and apparently he was seen like running for the station, so he obviously knew like which train he was going to make. He was trying to get there. He was seen on cameras in Grand Central in New York City around 5:30, so that lines up with he left. It's about a 2-hour train ride. He got to the city, and so at 5:30. So this was the reporting that was being extensively, I guess. And even this reporting did not come out until 2 weeks after he disappeared. So there really wasn't much about him And then let's say around the 27th. So he this happened on the 9th. So around the 27th, his mother went on Fox where she says that a friend at school said that he was going to meet up with a Roblox chat person, somebody he met in the game. And then, like, later, the parents found out that their son had multiple Roblox accounts that they were not aware of. Jumping in here to add that if you've never heard of a Roblox, it's an extremely popular game that kids play from like ages 6 up until like 20. And they're just like really stupid little games within the game that you can play. And you could talk to people through the chat function, like you could talk to complete strangers in the game. Where he created a password, he created a new email, which then allowed him to sign in to Roblox. And I know that they have like age restrictive things, but that might not kick in until you may be able to have a new account for a while before they ask you to verify your age. Roblox is really trying to like have their image be restored, or they're putting in like new features that are supposedly safer. However, they're, I mean, if a child can create their own account, like obviously that's maybe this is why Thomas had so many accounts, because maybe you can create a new one and it won't check your age for a little bit, but then it will check your age. So the mom goes on TV. She says about the possible Roblox meetup. She also lists like all of these accomplishments that her son had, and they were extensive. And a lot of people have kind of criticized the family culture. I know that when people jump on parents, like why when they're missing kids or something, like people are always criticizing parents because I swear, like the parent or the loved one can never say the right thing. It's either they're too sentiment or they're too emotional or they're not emotional enough, or like why are they listing all of these achievements? Until you're in this situation, and I have been missing my kids for like maybe like 10 minutes or whatever, like until you're in this situation, you really don't know how you're going to react and what you're going to say. And the reporter is asking like, oh, what was he like, what kind of hobbies did he have? I hear he was really smart. So the mom just goes off listing all of his achievements, how he travels all over the world playing ping pong in tournaments, and how he knows like 3 different languages, and he's in the school that's very highly academic, and like he's a black diamond skier. I think that a lot of people kind of took it as like, oh, this kid was over stressed at home, and so this is what happened. And a lot of people like jumped on the family immediately for I guess that it was like the parents' fault that the kid decided to run away or something. But the most, and I don't agree with that. Obviously, I don't know them. I just wanna, I found this case very interesting on many levels. This is just me like filling in the story. Um, so I think the possibility of the Roblox really created some kind of backlash from whoever it is that whose interest it is to not portray Roblox in a negative light. So maybe Roblox itself, they came out like instantly. I feel like even the day of that this Fox interview came out with the mother, like they Roblox came out with a statement saying that we have like reviewed all of the accounts, and there's absolutely nothing to suggest that there was any conversation that was like outside of just normal gameplay, even though it seems like the parents seemingly like only recently found the alternate accounts because apparently their son had completely wiped all the devices that he was using, like cleared histories, cleared memory, the kid obviously wanted to disappear or have whatever this activity was he was doing in New York City. He did not want his parents to know about it. He didn't want to have a record of what he was doing online. That's that seems to be undisputed. Then immediately following the interview with the mother, a whole bunch of new updated articles started circulating like in mainstream news outlets where they claim to have seen Thomas at the Grand Central as previously stated. Now they're saying last he was seen was on the Manhattan Bridge, which is a bridge that connects Manhattan and Brooklyn, and that he was seen there. And then, like 4 minutes later, there was a splash in the water that was recorded, and that his phone that they were able to ping up until that point went completely dead at that point. And the family, in interviews that came out after all of these news articles, said that they were completely outraged at the fact that they have not seen anything conclusive. They were never shown footage of any splash. They said that it was described to them as a small splash, which could have been anything. The father also went on to detail that the bridge is like very long. It's like almost a mile and a half, I think. So to get like from where Thomas was seen to the where the splash was seen was like not possible at all. And the family did not approve any new updates or any new press releases, that they were kind of shocked that this information came out. It almost seemed like they learned it from the news and not from the police themselves, though I'm not sure how they learned it. But they just wanted to be very clear that their son was very much still missing and not presumed dead, because they had not seen any evidence of that was concrete. And the father tried walking like from the beginning of the bridge in Brooklyn, and he said in 4 minutes he wasn't even over the water. Um so there's no way for his son to would have ended up on the other side where the splash was. What the family thinks is most likely is that the kid like changed clothing and went back, or whichever way he went. They're saying that because he took like a black hoodie from the dad that was missing, that the parents are saying he packed a bag, which I don't know what that means. They just said like he had a cell phone charger and like a change I guess he had the sweatshirt, and he had like a pair of headphones that he borrowed from his mom. So they're just using that to say that if he wanted to end things, that he would not have prepared like that, I guess, which is, I think that's neither here nor there. But I do think that it's very suspicious that without any concrete evidence, that the the media has sort of slammed the case shut. And they were like very disappointed, and they were like still waiting for news, like more news from Roblox, but it just sounds like they haven't really been given any information. And then they like went out publicly, seeking information, and then like the media just kind of slammed the case shut, even though um, uh, it was actually like some people are saying like, well, it's been like iced over because it's been so cold, but that whole week when Thomas went missing was like record high temperatures. It was actually in the 50s. I think that they, around that 2 week mark, they came to a realization that they weren't getting assistance as much as they wanted to. Like they were leaving it up to the police. So they came out with all the information they had so far. And then immediately it looked like, unfortunately, they got like a shutdown in this way where like last seen on the bridge was not seen coming off. The father said that he looked at the cameras that were on the bridge and that there are a lot of places where he would not be captured on camera. Like that if he was to change clothes and it was at, I think they gave the timeline like at 7 p.m. So it's definitely dark in the winter at 7 p.m. Um, Unusually warm though. So if he was just wearing like a hoodie, then that's like acceptable. But he was seen wearing a jacket um, on the like where he was at Grand Central and stuff. So, anyways, the family is just very frustrated with the investigation. And when I try to research, like look up like any recent stuff, I mean, people are making all kinds of garbage. Like they're just jumping on and making up stories. Like there's like two or three stories I've seen, like his jacket was found in the water. And it's like very obviously somebody took a CG, they made like a CG photo of like make me like a, what is it called? AI. Like here's the picture of the kid's jacket, like the kid wearing it, and like make me a photo of this jacket floating. Like, and it's terrible because you, it's just for clicks. Like what I'm imagining this woman on my local group is like, this is my cousin. Like it's just for attention and for clicks and to advance your own like completely unimportant agenda of whatever it is, whether it's to drive traffic to your stupid scummy website or to yourself as like a victim of this horrible incident or something. Like to say that I have a direct connection to this case when you don't, just to get like hopes and prayers or whatever. I think it's just like pretty sick. So yeah, the jacket has not been confirmed anywhere that they found any of his stuff. I think maybe they found his backpack like back at Grand Central or something, or I don't even know if that one's real. The diary, like there's posts like his last word, or like his mom found his diary, and now the chilling revelation of his last entry or whatever, completely made up, or like the three last words he said to her, like click for more, because now it's like you can, now you understand. And it's sick, like it's really sick. That's why I tried like really hard to only follow what was reported about him, because if you start reading like on Facebook or even on Reddit, not that there's like, not that this case is so famous, it's just that like for myself, like I also had an attempt like at, I was like a few days before my 15th birthday, so I completely believe that it is possible for a child to want to do that, or to decide to do that. But I don't think that the way this case has gone is like conclusive at all, despite like that the finality that the media is putting on it. So that might be another reason why I'm so kind of invested in seeing what happened to Thomas. And until we have like more concrete proof that isn't like a minor splash that people are still trying to like look out for him, whatever his reasons for disappearing. I mean, obviously he deliberately went out to deceive his parents, to give himself like what, between 3 p.m. and 9 p.m., like that much time to get into Manhattan and do whatever it is that he was planning on doing there. Wanted to at least run away, whether or not that means that he was like meeting up with somebody, or he like did have, you know, thoughts of ending things. But like until we know, like it's just feels so unfair and so upsetting that not only the media is doing this, like making sure that it has absolutely no connection to anything criminal. No way it's anything criminal. No way there's foul play involved. No way that it has anything to do with gaming or anything like that. But then also people jumping on and making up stories like about the diary or about the jacket. Um, and I even saw, I think it was like headline, like this is really what happened, and there's like a clip of a video from the bridge, and I think it was like a helicopter crash or something from like way before, and there's like a crowd of people watching, and like, yeah, people will click on that because they're like, oh, it's been resolved, and we will now know. And then like they end up reposting like, well, I heard that his jacket was found, or like, in my experience, this kid was overachieving, had like overachieving parents, or whatever it is, like, or I saw in the diary that he said this, and it's like none of those things are true or real, and it's like it just like people's imaginations run away, and it's just awful that even though you can get a lot of information out there via social media, it's just like so scummy. It's so scummy how we can't like help ourselves to um I don't know, to like not make everything clickable and or like for profitable, you know, like just just the fact that like I think that's overall like what really struck me is that there's was just like so much information that people jumped on because it was like an interesting story about this kid, that you could take it into all of these different directions and benefit yourself in a way that had like nothing to do with the family. And I thought that that was really sad and tragic. So as of today, I looked it up. I saw on the news, I saw the last news from 2 days ago, and it was the same exact thing. It was like a splash, but there's no new, there was not any new information. So maybe the family has come out with more like statements, but until I see like a news report that says something a little more conclusive, I'm would like to assume that Thomas is out there and that, you know, he, for whatever reason, decided to leave home that day. And I hope that his family finds the closure that, you know, whatever it ends up being, because like I can't even imagine what it's like to be missing a child, but also just all of the kind of like misinformation around what happened or what may have happened. And I have found accounts from like actual family and actual people who attend the school, and they have all sort of agreed with the fact that there's not um, very much information that the the police is sharing, and that could kind of help people. Like, um, it's more like the information's being like restricted. The official information is being restricted so that we don't go off thinking that it was like Roblox or whatever. But that is actually creating people to run wild and make up a whole bunch of stuff. So that's all on Thomas Medlin for now. Hopefully we get a resolution to this case in the near future.